So, Hank Mitchell is our main character. His father used to say that simple things like a loving wife, a steady job, good friends, and kind neighbors make life happy. Hank had all of these and was content. He and his wife Sarah live in a small town in Minnesota. Hank works at a feed mill, and Sarah is a librarian. He is one of the few locals with a college degree. It's Christmas time. Hank is friendly with his neighbors, greeting familiar faces. He also meets the county sheriff, Carl.
Hey, Carl. Hey, Happy New Year, Hank. You gotta start charging people.
At home, Hank spends time with his pregnant wife, Sarah. They are happy and clearly in love. Later, Hank's brother Jacob comes over with his friend Lou. Jacob struggles in social situations. Though Hank isn't close to him, he still spends time with Jacob.
Hey, you need to shovel this shit off of your, deal there.
The brothers plan to visit their father's grave, but Hank is annoyed that Lou is joining them. Jacob insists Lou needs a ride. After the cemetery visit, they head back with Jacob driving. On the way, a fox carrying a chicken crosses the road. Jacob panics, hits the brakes, but the snowy road is slippery. The truck slides and crashes into a tree.
You okay, baby? Come on, get out.
They get out to check the damage and follow the fox into the woods. Jacob takes his gun, hoping to shoot it. While searching, they find a small crashed airplane. Well, here we go. It's getting interesting. Let's make some tea.
Jesus Christ. Shit, that's an airplane.
Hank looks inside and sees a dead pilot. As he checks if the man is alive, crows are already pecking at the body, scaring him.
I see the pilot!
Jacob pulls Hank out of the plane. Before they leave, Jacob spots a bag inside. Lou opens it and finds $4.4 million in $100 bills. They think it's drug money. The place is hidden under snow, so no one would easily find it. Hank wants to report the money, but Lou and Jacob convince him not to.
It's a police matter now. What do you think we should do? Somebody should stay here, somebody should go after the cops? What?
Hank warns if the plane is found empty, they could be arrested. He suggests hiding the money until spring. If no one comes for it, they can split it and leave town. They agree and load the bag into their truck. Soon, Sheriff Carl passes by and notices them. They hide the money quickly.
Let's go, come on, cover up the money. Jacob, get in the truck, dump me up. Let's go.
Carl chats with Hank, who tries to act normal, but Carl's dog sniffs near the truck. Luckily, Carl trusts Hank. However, Jacob slips up and mentions a plane. And here we go. They couldn't even keep a secret for one day without nearly ruining everything. Who needs enemies with friends like these?
Well, we'd probably be very... Hey, did you tell him about the plane?
Carl asks more questions, but Hank and Lou confuse him with bad lies. After Carl leaves, Hank scolds Jacob and Lou for being careless. He threatens to burn the money if things go wrong. They all promise to keep the secret. Later, they drop Lou at home. Lou's marriage with his wife Nancy is full of fights. Lou's bad habits make Hank dislike him more. At home, Hank tells Sarah about the money and empties the bag on their table. Sarah is shocked. Seriously, look at this. He literally just said they'd keep the money a complete secret, and immediately he's spilling everything to his wife. This is exactly the moment when friendship stops meaning anything.
It's real.
During dinner, Sarah says they shouldn't keep the money as it's a crime. Hank agrees, but later has doubts. Sarah surprisingly changes her mind, saying they should keep it, but also advises putting some money back in the plane to avoid suspicion. Hank agrees. Wow, that's a twist. His librarian wife seemed so honest, but now she's already teaching her husband how to handle stolen money. True colors always come out eventually. The next morning, Hank convinces Jacob to go back with him. Jacob is annoyed, but agrees. Jacob waits behind while Hank returns some money to the plane. Crows and the smell of the dead pilot make the scene disturbing. While waiting, an old man named Dwight rides up on a snowmobile. He asks Jacob if he has seen a fox. Jacob says no. Soon, Hank returns and greets Dwight, but Jacob panics, thinking Dwight might discover their secret.
Jacob!
Jacob attacks Dwight and knocks him out. Hank checks and believes Dwight is dead. He tells Jacob they need to make it look like an accident. Hank takes Dwight on the snowmobile, but when Dwight wakes up and threatens to call the police, Hank suffocates him. Then Hank pushes Dwight's body off a bridge to fake an accident. And there we have it. It started with just taking money, now it's murder. So much for your simple life, Hank. After cleaning up, Hank meets Jacob. Jacob feels guilty and wants to confess everything. Hank disagrees. Jacob insists, saying these were his choices. But then Hank reveals the truth. He was the one who killed Dwight.
He was alive when you left. I smothered him.
Later, Hank tells Sarah what happened. She warns that the police might follow their tracks. Hank believes the coming snow will cover them. The news soon reports Dwight's death, saying it looks like an accident. Sarah is relieved, but wishes Jacob still thought he was responsible, not Hank. Scared of what they've done, Hank and Sarah hug each other for comfort. The next day, Jacob calls Hank at work, saying he urgently needs to talk. Hank visits him only to find Jacob cheerful. Jacob talks about staying after spring to rebuild their family farm using his share of the money. Hank disagrees, reminding him that they had planned to leave. Jacob suggests Hank buy the land for him first, but Hank warns it would look suspicious if Jacob suddenly became rich. Their argument shifts to their father. Hank says their dad struggled with money because of the 2 mortgages. Jacob reminds Hank it was because most of the family's money went to Hank's college fund.
What do I get? I'm supposed to get the farm.
Hank calms down and says money is no longer a problem. Jacob says he doesn't want riches, only the farm. For Hank, his future is with his wife and unborn child. For Jacob, Minnesota is home.
It's my home, Hank.
Later, Hank visits Sarah at the library. She has been researching and finds out the money was ransom for a kidnapped heiress. 2 brothers were involved. Sarah shows Hank a picture, asking if he can identify the dead pilot, but Hank can't. The body was too damaged. Sarah sees this as good news. If it's drug money, it's likely no one will come looking for it. Days pass, and one late night while Hank is sleeping, he hears a noise at the front door. Suspicious, he checks and finds it's just a drunken Lou. Lou is there to ask for his share of the money because he's broke. Hank scolds him, reminding Lou they agreed to wait until the plane is officially found and no one is searching for the money. But Lou is desperate and won't let it go.
I'll come back later for the rest.
Hank feels insulted by Lou's recklessness and warns him that if he asks again, he'll burn the money tomorrow. Lou, now angry, calls Hank's bluff and reveals that Jacob told him about the incident with Mr. Dwight Stevenson.
See, Jacob told me a little secret, Mr. Accountant.
Hank tries to reason with Lou, saying they're all in this together, but Lou threatens to go to the authorities.
He just drove off that bridge. Do you believe that? Do you?
Hank then tells Lou he'll give him some of the money, but says it's hidden a day's distance away. He promises Lou will get his share. Here he goes lying again. Says the money's hidden far away, but he's actually keeping it close by, right under everyone's noses. Wonder how this lie's gonna turn out. Lou admits he owes people money and really needs help. Hank gives him some cash for now. Lou isn't satisfied, but chooses to trust Hank's promise. Soon after, Sarah gives birth to a baby girl and Jacob comes to visit. While there, Hank confronts Jacob, asking how he could betray him by telling Lou their secret. Hank feels like Jacob has to choose a side now.
Why are you both always talking about sides? There's no sides.
Pick right now.
Who'd it be? No, I don't.
Me or Lou?
Jacob brings a gift for the newborn, a toy he played with as a child. Hank appreciates his brother's thoughtfulness, but Sarah complains it smells old and is not suitable for their baby. After the birth, Sarah becomes even more cunning. She convinces Hank to frame Lou for Dwight's murder. Her plan is to get Lou drunk, trick him into confessing, and record the confession.
No kidding about confessing to the police. Each of you takes a turn pretending how you do it.
When Jacob hears this, he is shocked by Hank's cruelty. Still, Hank is his brother, so Jacob agrees to help. Before carrying out the plan, they visit Susan for dinner to celebrate the baby's safe delivery. After the meal, Sarah gives them time to talk alone. During the conversation, Jacob reveals something shocking.
Done what? Killing himself,
Jacob tells Hank that their father didn't die in an accident. He actually took his own life, hoping the insurance money would help pay off debts and stabilize the family financially. Hank never knew this, and all he can do is sit in silence.
What? No. What?
You know that, Hank.
Soon, much to Jacob's sadness, the 2 brothers visit Lou at a bar. They let him drink as much as he wants. Lou quickly gets drunk and starts rambling nonsense. Before they can get to the confession, Lou picks a fight with another man, so they have to drag him out and take him home. At Lou's house, they continue to get him drunk with whiskey. Lou foolishly thinks Hank is finally bonding with him. Oh, Lou, you're so naive. Did he really believe that after everything they suddenly became friends? He's about to learn a painful lesson.
Like fucking, you know, like, what is it, like a commercial?
Hank is ready to record Lou's confession. Meanwhile, Lou's wife Nancy keeps coming downstairs to nag her husband as usual. When Lou goes to the kitchen to deal with her, Hank tells Jacob they can't waste all night and need to make Lou talk soon. But Jacob looks pale and uninterested in what they're about to do to his friend. When Lou returns, Jacob suddenly snaps at Hank, spoiling their plan.
What's wrong with you, man?
Jacob tells Lou to notice how Hank barely drinks, only pretending to sip from his glass. Lou laughs, thinking they're just teasing each other. Jacob even mimics Hank, making both himself and Lou laugh at Hank's serious attitude. Honestly, this made me smile a bit. It's funny how amidst all this dirt and danger, the brothers still joke around, but soon there might be no one left to laugh.
Hey guys, come on, you know, hey, wait up.
When the crow flies out and it pecks him in the head. That's good.
Then Jacob says something strange. He jokes that Hank is planning to confess everything to Officer Carl. This enrages Lou, who gets up, furious that Hank would even consider ratting on them. But Jacob quickly turns it into a joke, suggesting Lou do an impression of Hank confessing to Dwight's murder. Drunk and gullible, Lou agrees when Jacob encourages him. Lou goes on to perform the fake confession.
Well, Hank, how you doing?
How you doing, Hank?
Sit down.
It's about Dwight Stevenson.
What are you talking about?
No. I killed him.
Hank records the false confession and gets exactly what he wanted. However, Lou soon grows rude again. Feeling powerful now, Hank pulls out the recorder and forces Lou to listen.
Come on. I killed him.
You killed Dwight Stevenson?
That's right.
Lou becomes furious when he realizes they've tricked him. He pulls a gun on them. The brothers try to calm him down, but Lou feels humiliated and keeps threatening them. Seeing the danger, Jacob grabs a rifle from his truck and returns, ready to shoot Lou if necessary. I'm honestly shocked. Now, they've reached the point of being ready to kill each other over money. Don't they realize their lives won't improve after this? They're just continuing to dig their own graves. Meanwhile, Nancy is still on the stairs, asking what's going on. Lou, ignoring her, demands Hank give him his share. He says the people he owes will soon take his truck, and he desperately needs the money.
Do you think he's your friend, huh? Do ya?
Come on, let's just all settle down.
The situation gets worse when Lou fires a shot somewhere else to show how serious he is. Then he points the gun directly at Hank, ready to kill him once and for all. Seeing this, Jacob becomes desperate. To save his brother, he shoots Lou and kills him. Right after, Nancy runs to her husband and cries over his dead body. She tells Hank to call the police and help her husband, but it's too late. He's already dead, and Hank has no intention of doing so. The tension rises again when Nancy picks up her husband's rifle and tries to shoot Hank. But Hank quickly takes the rifle from her hands and tells her he won't hurt her. However, Nancy runs into one of the rooms, forcing Hank to follow her. In the dark kitchen, she grabs another gun and prepares to fire. Just as Hank turns on the light, she starts shooting at him. Now everyone's killing each other, all starting from just finding some money. Didn't anyone realize it was time to stop? But all her shots miss. Hank stays calm and manages to shoot her first, killing her in a shameful way. Now that Lou and Nancy are dead, the brother's secret is safe for now. Afterward, Hank fires the shotgun randomly around the house and then calls the police station, pretending to be a frightened version of himself who hears gunshots nearby. He wipes his fingerprints off the gun and places it in Lou's hand, framing him for the murders of both himself and his wife. Since everyone knows Lou and Nancy often fought and disrespected each other, this story won't be surprising to the police. However, Jacob feels overwhelmed with guilt. He knows he can't escape this situation because of Hank. But Hank acts like nothing happened and starts preparing Jacob for the witness statement they need to give. Jacob is too shocked to follow along. Later, they go to the police station to explain the incident. Officer Carl notices that the brother stories don't match, so they are questioned separately. Hank can no longer control what Jacob says. Still, by the end of the day, Hank and Jacob succeed in convincing the police, and Carl himself, that it was simply a domestic fight that ended in murder and self-destruction. Not long after, Lou and Nancy's funeral is held. Hank and Jacob attend, pretending to be innocent. Later, Hank and his wife Sarah enjoy their life with their newborn baby. Meanwhile, Jacob spends his nights alone at the bar, drinking heavily, haunted by what he has done and his growing loneliness. One late night, Sheriff Carl visits Hank's house while Hank and Sarah are giving their baby a bath.
Hey, Carl.
I hope I didn't wake you, Hank. I saw the light was still on, so...
Carl explains that he found Jacob drunk at the bar and brought him home. At first, Hank fears Carl has found out the truth, but he feels relieved when he realizes it's just about his brother. After thanking Carl, Hank helps Jacob into the baby's room so he can rest and sober up. Even in his drunken state, Jacob admits that he feels evil. Unlike Jacob, Hank feels strong, confident, and proud of his life. A loving wife, a healthy baby, and now, even wealth. Days go by without problems. One day, Hank is at the barber shop getting a haircut when Carl enters the room, making the air tense.
Hey, Carl.
Carl mentions that Jacob spoke about hearing a plane crash in the woods that night. He asks the brothers to help an FBI agent, Neil Baxter, search for the missing plane. Hank feels nervous knowing someone is actually looking for it, but he agrees to meet them at the station with Jacob later. At the station, Hank and Jacob meet Baxter and Carl. Sarah becomes suspicious of Baxter. She tells Hank she doesn't believe he is really an FBI agent and thinks he might be after the money and Jacob.
Did he show you his badge?
Why would he show me his badge?
Hank dismisses her concerns, saying it's unlikely, but Sarah insists that he shouldn't go out tomorrow. She suggests calling Carl's office to make an excuse, saying their baby is sick so Hank can stay home. She also warns him not to take Jacob with him. However, Hank feels overwhelmed and tells Sarah he is tired of living in fear. He blames her plans for getting him into trouble and declares that he will take all the money back. Following Hank upstairs, Sarah reveals her frustration. She talks about their difficult life, how Hank works hard with little reward, how she raises their child with hand-me-down toys, and how the simple life is not enough. She wants a better life.
The same meals over and over again, whatever the week's coupons will allow.
But her words shift towards Jacob's situation. She points out that Lou is dead and now Jacob lives alone in a dirty apartment with only his dog. She asks Hank how much longer his brother can endure this. This angers Hank, and he tells her to stop talking. Though she stops, it's clear she does not want their life to return to how it was. The next day, Hank meets Carl at his office to wait for Baxter. Before that, Sarah confirms her suspicion. Baxter is not an FBI agent. She quickly calls Hank to warn him not to meet Baxter and to come home instead.
It's him.
What?
It's him, Hank. Come home.
However, Hank believes it's safer to stay cautious than to run home, so he ends the call. When Baxter arrives and Carl steps out, Hank excuses himself, saying he forgot his hat. Feeling nervous, Hank steals a revolver and some bullets from Carl's office drawer. Later in the woods, they run into Jacob.
Thought you weren't up for this. I talked to Sarah.
Hank questions Jacob's presence since they agreed he wouldn't come. Carl explains he asked Jacob to bring his rifle for protection. Carl blows a whistle to signal Hank, not knowing Hank already has a gun. The group splits up to search for the plane. Eventually, Carl finds it and signals Baxter by firing a shot into the air. Realizing the plane has been found, Hank blows his whistle frantically. When Baxter reaches Carl and sees the plane, Hank arrives, shouting for Carl to look behind him. It turns out Baxter is Lou's brother and is here to take the money by force. Despite Hank's warnings, Baxter shoots Carl in the back, killing him, then turns to Hank, who is now exposed.
Where's my money?
Baxter demands to know where the money is. Terrified, Hank tells him it's inside the plane. Baxter drags Hank to retrieve it. Inside, Hank tries to load the stolen revolver, but his trembling hands cause him to drop the bullets. Losing patience, Baxter fires multiple shots through the plane's walls, barely missing Hank. Hank manages to load one bullet into the revolver and comes out with a few packets of money. As Baxter opens the bag to check the cash, Hank points the gun at him. Baxter slowly stands up, questioning whether Hank has it in him to be a cold-blooded killer. As Baxter tries to grab his gun, Hank doesn't hesitate and shoots him in the face.
Just me.
Soon, Jacob arrives at the scene and sees the two dead bodies. Feeling hopeless, Jacob tells Hank he can't live with the guilt. He suggests Hank should kill him and frame Baxter for his death.
Make it look like the bad guy did it, Hank.
Heartbroken, but knowing there's no other way, Hank shoots Jacob with Baxter's gun. At the police station, Hank gives his carefully prepared story to the real FBI agents. As Sarah predicted, they believe Hank is too respectable to be involved in such crimes. He is cleared as a suspect. However, they reveal the money was part of a ransom and that the serial numbers are tracked. Realizing he can never safely use the money, Hank returns home and burns it all. And that's it. All that dirt, murder, and lies for what? Just to burn the money in the end? Life really played a cruel joke on them. In the final narration, Hank reflects on everything he has lost. Though life goes on, the memories of murder and betrayal haunt him forever. With this, the movie comes to an end.